that we are here. We're not just the lazy folks that you don't see or hear about sitting in an office. I've been on 3 fire assignments. In the 13 months that I've been in the Forest Service, I've actually become a wildland firefighter support service as well. You know, we are active. We are doing things.
We have workers across the country that are losing their jobs. All over the country, those who have served, those who are working as forest rangers, Forest Service providers, those working within the government, all sorts of different jobs, those who are working in very important positions to keep the government going. These are not just Democrats that are losing their jobs. They're Republicans, some of whom voted for Donald Trump. One of those workers who lost their job recently, and I'm sad to hear about it, joins us right now on the show. He's known as Eric Iggy Ogdachak, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, my friend.
Quite right.
Facility operations specialist for the U.S. Forest Service out in Illinois. Eric, I do appreciate you being here, and I'm sorry we are meeting under these circumstances. I'm sorry about the loss of your job, but how are you, sir?
Thank you very much for having me and letting us, folks like us, voice our situation, because it doesn't seem like many other people are. I'm fine. The prevailing sentiment is anger, not just for my situation, but for everyone else, because we all got fired under false pretenses. We got fired under the guise of poor performance. That has not been the case for any of us that have been dismissed. Actually, everyone that has been dismissed in our unit, which is about a third of the force there, all of us have received incredibly positive reviews. You know, we don't come to the Forest Service to milk the government dole. We came there to actually do a job. Mm-hmm. Coming to work for the Forest Service is not walking by a storefront and seeing a for help or help wanted sign and you just want to take it down. It's not like, yeah, this will fill my job situation for now. It's a 6-month process to get a government job. It is, you go through all kinds of checks. You come in and you swear an oath to the government, to the Constitution, to do this job. And all of us have done that. Once the administration took over, that's when all the chaos started. We started getting really messed up emails, threats, suggestions that we should just leave on our own, saying, hey, you could go on the vacation of your dreams right now. Just leave. Just leave the government. I've been here for 13 months. I took this job because I knew that it was going to be stability. I was an independent contractor before this. Mm-hmm. I came here understanding that it was going to be stability, and that quickly changed. I plan to retire here. I have financial advisors that I've hired, and if you just keep doing this, if you maintain all your TSP, which is like the 401k for the government, you are good.
Eric, I want to make sure for the listeners that I understand what you were doing. You were a facility operations specialist for the U.S. Forest Service. Do I have that right? And you said you were there for 13 months. Just for context. Okay, so you're there for 13 months. Let's rewind a little bit. Donald Trump gets elected. And can you please explain to me the threats you got? Where did it start where you said to yourself, Eric, my job security might be in trouble. We might be in a lot of trouble. What was the first sign for you?
The first sign for all of us was before he even came in. I mean, he was saying this stuff vocally. He's like, hey, we're going to reduce the government. Now, as a Forest Service employee, we know that we are not a revenue generating place. We manage the forest. And where I worked is not actually forest. It's a prairie. So we don't even have timber to sell. That is not part of our situation. What we do offer is the largest public land in the Chicago area. And this has been a fantastic project. We have bison. We have botanists that have been recreating the prairie for the past 20 years to make it look what it was before European settlement 200 years ago. But this threat was coming from that time. And pretty much as soon as he came in, we started getting those Doge emails saying, Um, basically, it was a deferment situation. Like, we're going to leave. Just leave your job. You have the opportunity to leave now, and you'll get paid for a few months. This isn't going to work out for you. Quit now. And then they said, hey, you're going to get an email within the next 24 hours to find out what your situation is, what your status is as a probationary employee. And then the next day, the email comes in and says, oh, well, there's no status change. We're just letting you know that you're under threat. The way that I was terminated, it was on February 15th. I was actually on leave, on vacation. I called my direct supervisor on that Friday because we're getting all this information. We're getting all these leads from Reddit, from the news, people texting to each other. You know, everything is a dangerous situation right now. Right. I called him before he left for the day. Hey, do I still have a job on Tuesday when I come back after President's Day? Mm-hmm. And he's like, as far as I know, you're good.
And this is your boss.
This is my immediate supervisor. Yes.
Can I just interject one thing, Eric? And I want you to continue. And there's a reason why I'm asking this, and because I don't know your political affiliation. Are you a Trump supporter? Did you vote for Trump? If you don't mind me asking.
Fuck no.
Okay. So I'm with you on that, but
I know I want to add some peers that were.
No, that was what my next question. My next question was for some of your coworkers that lost their jobs that did vote for Donald Trump. What are they saying? This is the guy that they supported. What are they saying?
Sure. So I know that the folks in my immediate group, in my unit that were terminated, I want to say that I'm trusting that all of them were not Trump supporters. But I know that there are many throughout the Forest Service that were, and there's one lady that is being completely eviscerated, leopards ate my face situation, because she believed that it was going to be, oh yeah, this is what I'm voting for. This is my one issue situation. And she and her husband lost their job and everything else that they needed to go along with it. They're there. And is there regret? Sure. But they still believe in, the situations. Like,
that's got to be
this is the man that I need in my life.
I can't even imagine how frustrating that is for you. So look, Eric, Trump is affecting all of us, I would argue, in negative ways. But here you are, a nice guy, qualified, you lose your job. And it appears to me the only reason why you lost your job is because of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And I can't imagine, the stress that you're going through and the anger that you must feel. And at the same time, there are a lot of federal workers, as you just mentioned, across the country that voted for Donald Trump. Some of them are angry. Some of them are disappointed. And yet some of them are still Trump supporters. Like, Eric, I can't even fathom. I can't even understand that. I don't get it.
Me neither, but it's there. It's there. And, the only way that we could try to negotiate any of this is just cult-like affiliation. They knew what was going to happen. And even the folks that were not terminated, that I actually do think are Trump supporters, I know they are in a dismal situation because our workforce was so completely diluted. The mission is not able to be completed at our unit. Like, we're gone. It's not just me. It's everyone that's gone.
Eric,
all the different facilities that are gone.
Eric, what did you get, like an email the day that you found out that and it seems to me like you kind of saw this coming, which you're a smart guy. I think a lot of people did, but I want to know, like, the day you lost your job, how did that go down? Can you take us through that? Did you get an email? Did you talk to your boss? What happened there?
Sure. So like I was saying, I asked my boss, my direct supervisor, on Friday, do I have a job on Tuesday? That Monday was President's Day of all days. Mm-hmm. He said, yes, you still have a job. I got a phone call at noon the next day saying, Eric, you were not on the list yesterday. You were on the list today.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm on vacation. I'm visiting my newborn nephew. And there was nothing I could do. And they said, you need to be in the office by Tuesday so that you could get all your stuff out of your office and download all of your necessary documents, all of your employment documents, all of your stuff that you need for unemployment.
What was the reason they gave you? Why were you on the list? Did they even give you a reason?
So everyone that is hired has an automatic probationary status. Some are 1 year, some are 2 years. Mine was 2 years with an exception. I had to get a doctor's note for that exception. I was 13 months in. There are people that were dismissed with less than a month left
Wow.
of that
That's
sort of
worse.
probation.
It's almost like a police officer that's waiting to get retirement, and something happens, not to no fault of his own, a couple months before he retires. I mean, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Trump has done that with generals.
Right. Correct. All right. So
right after that, it was an email, and the substance that they used as the excuse or the determination for the termination was poor performance.
Huh. Were they
specific? Poor performance. I have documents, and all of us do, and that's why we had to get those documents. That's why it was so important to get these documents off of our computers. Thankfully, I printed them out, and I was able to make PDFs of them. But good. I have awards of like financial awards. I have pay time off awards to reflect our positive performance.
Right.
And pretty much everyone got that exact same thing.
Let's backtrack, Eric. Let's backtrack. I just want to review what you just said, because this is this is horrible. So you're working as a facility operations specialist in Illinois for 13 months. You're on a 2-year probationary period. You've received awards. You've done a good job. Your boss on Friday tells you, no, you're not on this list. You should be okay. And then you find out, a few days later that you're on this list. You lose your job. The only reason you get is poor performance, where you've never even been written up for anything. You haven't done anything wrong. You've received all these rewards. Where do you go from here? Do you guys have any legal ramifications moving forward? You can't just fire somebody and say poor performance without anything to back that up. I mean, where do you go from here?
I'll say a few things towards that. First is, we were never defended by our immediate supervisors, by our Congress, by anyone, our leadership. There was no defense. I was like, okay, this is the direction that we're getting as an executive order. This is coming from Doge. This is coming from Trump. And they get the email, and 5 minutes later, they have to call us. There's been no defense for us. What we have been able to do is sign up for a number of class action lawsuits to push us forward. I'm on 2, if not 3. I'm a little confused on the situation on that. And we were asked to participate in the Forest Service Union to help us through that. I am a supervisory role, so I actually do not qualify for the union. They said, we're going to help you, but we can't help you. But that is really it. That is our only recourse. The main recourse that we have is having conversations like you and I are having right now.
Well, guess what?
That's people could hear us. That we are here. We're not just the lazy folks that you don't see or hear about sitting in an office. I've been on 3 fire assignments. In the 13 months that I've been in the Forest Service, I've actually become a wildland firefighter support service as well. We are active. We are doing things, but we are here. I am in Chicago. I know that people don't realize that there's forest around Chicago, but there is a whole team of about 50 people immediately here that are really working towards this. And the only way that we have is to have these conversations like we're having right now.
Absolutely. So, Eric, my next question was this, and if you could explain what you would say in a PG-13 way, because we're on the radio. If you had the opportunity to speak to Elon Musk and Donald Trump in a room directly right now, no cameras, nobody there but Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who I think we both could agree are 2 of the people that are at the forefront of why you lost your job, what would you say to them right now?
I apologize for being a potty mouth.
That's okay. That's okay.
There wouldn't be many words. It would be confrontational. I hate to say it. I can't explain to them because they don't want to listen. And that's something that we all know. They are refusing to listen to any of us. They came in as he's waving around his chainsaw. There was other pundits that were saying, oh yeah, he's going in there surgically to clean up all these departments. But they're openly saying, we're going in there with a wood chipper. We're waving around on screen a chainsaw. There's nothing you could say. They don't care. This is not about anything. There's no defense for us. There's no standing up. We have a mission. The agencies that we work for have a mission, and we've been working on that. That doesn't matter to them. The soonest we were starting getting laid off, the next action that we're seeing is that they're talking about selling off 280 million acres of forest land for timber.
Right. Right.
We know what the agenda is.
Yeah.
And this is an unelected official who's making these calls. We are under oath defending this land, but we don't have any action on this. We have no force in this.
Right. That's what's so unfortunate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't say any words. Words don't matter anymore.
Right.
I would not say any words, and I hate to say it, I would get a little, less than pleasant.
Understandably, I don't blame you, Eric. Listen, I am so sorry what you and your family are going through now. It's one thing to lose your job for cause, but it's another thing to lose your job for doing nothing but doing your job and doing it correctly. And whether that be, a facility operations specialist like yourself, or somebody in law enforcement, somebody in the FBI who investigated January 6th, anybody. There are our military veterans, those that have lost their jobs, some of whom work in the government. There are people across the country. We need thousands and thousands of people just like you, good, hardworking Americans, educated people, good people, whether they voted for Donald Trump or not, that are losing their job because of Donald Trump and because of Elon Musk. And we need to hear more from people like you. Your voices need to be heard. If there's anything we can do for you, you're welcome to come back anytime. If you get any updates on any civil lawsuit or anything that's going on, we certainly want to hear about that. And I'm on your side. I mean, I'll always be on your side, Eric, people like you. And this is awful. This is terrible. And this is Donald Trump's America.
This is Donald Trump's America. If I could add,
Sure.
I was on NPR just a few days ago also discussing this topic. While the few of us sat down, we put on our headphones. There was the announcement that the USDA is being asked to reinstate just under 6,000 employees. The Forest Service itself lost around 2,000 people. It is mandated somehow, I don't know what the legalese is, that within 5 days we're supposed to hear that we have to report back to the office or not. I called my supervisor. They don't know anything about it. But what is coming up really soon is the end of the continuing resolution. So come midnight on March 14th, the budget will likely end, which means furlough for everyone. So even if I were told to come back to the office on Monday, this coming Monday, by Friday, more than likely, we will be all on furlough. Now, one of the things that is with the furlough, if you are not asked to come back to the office within 30 days, you are technically considered to be not essential. And if you're not essential in those 30 days, you are qualified to be terminated because you are not essential. So that is the next step. We're told that we might come back to the office. We don't know. Our bosses don't know. No one knows. We don't have the leadership that is able to fight for this, get the right answers, nothing. I get more information from Reddit than anywhere else.
Isn't that sad? It's kind of like, the unwanted and unneeded stress that is being put on you, even put on the good people in Canada or Mexico with these tariffs. First, he's going to tariff you, then he's not going to tariff you. Think about all the stress he's putting on people and undocumented. Yeah, and undocumented immigrants and so many of them nonviolent criminals that they're deported. I mean, it's just, listen, the stress he's putting on Americans and people like you and people, quite frankly, across the world, it's despicable. Eric, we got your back, my friend. If there's anything we can do for you, you always have a voice on this show and we'll welcome you back. You're a smart guy. You're qualified. I know it doesn't feel great right now, but you are going to land back on your feet. You're going to find another job with your resume. You're going to get through this. And I know you are because you're a talented guy. And I know you are. But I appreciate you sharing your story. I wish we could have met under better circumstances, my friend. But you got my number. If there's anything we can do for you, please let me know, Eric. And I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.